I went from feeling very trapped and very stuck and very locked in. I literally felt like I was confined. At this moment, after working together a good couple years, the sky's the limit. Before I started working with Matt and working with Connection Docs, I was in a really tough place in my family dynamic. I have two young children, and the relationship with my partner was strained. I experienced sort of my day-to-day life in my home as being really volatile. There were a lot of emotional outbursts. There was a lot of disappointment and chronic frustration. The moment of saying, okay, now let's get on our shoes and it's time to go to school, would stimulate an emotional collapse for him. I was really experiencing an entrenched power struggle dynamic between my son and me and my partner. Something that I understand now after working with Matt is how important it is for my son to have an adult with a regulated nervous system available for him. Even more important than getting to school on time is the goodwill that I've created with my son, that he's learning to trust that I care about our connection more than I do about getting to school. We've learned how to create an agreement that meets both of our needs. I noticed that I had more spaciousness, that I could recognize, okay, I'm getting overstimulated. If I just act on my impulse, I know which way this is gonna go, and that's not the way I want this to go. I began to recognize that there was a sense of urgency that lived in me, and that when I felt that sense of urgency, it was actually a signal for me to take a break. When I could feel that internal pressure rising, that was the moment for me to say less and do less instead of move me into overdrive. The work that I've done with Matt has profoundly changed the way that I connect with myself. Through the many hours that we've spent practicing together, I first became much more aware of how hard I was on myself, and that I was actually not a very good friend to myself in many ways. Through working with Matt, I was really able to cultivate more compassion and able to stay with myself in a way that I just hadn't been able to before. Something I might say to someone, or maybe the earlier version of myself that felt very stuck in those painful patterns, would be to trust the process. The way out is through. Being able to slow down and be with what feels really overwhelming can expand our capacity and our quality of presence, and ultimately allow things to begin to move again. There's a lot of reason for hope